who at a late hour is selling oil? Who are they buying it from? So
that's a really good point.
Yeah, I think it's a great point.
Okay, so it says, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
So that's what we're talking about. That they have is to prepare the bride chamber for the bride. They're waiting for the groom for his appearance to his bride. So it could be interesting, even just some cultural context there. If your scriptures say bridesmaid, it says virgin, there could be some changes there. Welcome back to Rooted in Faith. I'm Ethan, and this is Nikki. Today we're talking about the parable of the 10 virgins. Yay. Now, if you saw part 1 of the marriage episode, you probably heard us say that when we dove into it, reading a bunch of stuff, we discovered via this guy, Harold Smith, it appears there could be some mistranslation and misunderstanding around the parable of the 10 virgins. And this was intriguing enough and deep enough and significant enough. We wanted to share it with you. We thought it was super interesting.
Yeah, this was crazy. Yep. Reading this, mind was blown.
Yep. So I'm going to read it real quick. Now, this is just coming off of the website, He That Has an Ear. I'm not reading it out off of my scripture notes or gospel library. So bear with me if yours has a different word. We'll give you the verses. This is Matthew chapter 25, 1 through 13. I'm going to read it through really quickly just so we get it through. Then the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. For when the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them, but the wise took flasks of oil with their lamps. As the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. But at midnight there was a cry, "Here is the bridegroom, come out to meet him." Then all those virgins rose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." But the wise answered, saying, "Since there will not be enough for us and for you, go rather to the dealers and buy for yourselves." And while they were going to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the marriage feast, and the door was shut. Afterward, the other virgins came also, saying, "Lord, Lord, open to us." But he answered, "Truly I say to you, I do not know you. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour." Now, I think we all probably know that story pretty well. I don't remember who we heard this one from. It might be Jonah Barnes, might be a Dave Butler, but the part where the Lord answers and says, "Truly I say to you, I do not know you." There could have been a mistranslation there where it is you did not know me, or you knew me not I did not know you. The Greek can be played with a little bit there. But that's not the one we're talking about today. This one we're talking about when the looks like the virgins were sleeping. And I'm going to scroll real quick here and find this so I can get into it for you.
Well, so before we get to that, though, there was something else that you found that was pretty interesting, because it wasn't just, they weren't women.
Well, they may not have had to been women.
Yeah.
It says virgins.
They could have been.
It says virgins. Now, I think when most of us read that, we would assume the virgins is being referred to as women. But
yeah,
I think that's our English and cultural brains shaping that. And of course, this is all still coming from Harold Smith. The virgins are not gender specific. We commonly think of them being female, but he cites Revelation 14, 4 through 5, and 1 Corinthians 7:37. Virgins can be referred to as male as well. Now, I haven't looked into those scriptures. I skimmed through that part because I was more focused on this other piece I'm about to share with you. But
I just thought it was an interesting
The virgins don't have to be all women. They could have been men. Now, maybe the um, maybe the virgins. Now, if your scriptures say bridesmaid, that's a latter Western invention.
Mm-hmm.
What's being referred to as virgins, if it says bridesmaid, now the people in the parable of the 10 virgins are friends of the bridegroom. That might be a better word than bridesmaid.
Mm-hmm.
The function that they have is to prepare the bride chamber for the bride. They're waiting for the groom, for his appearance to his bride. So it could be interesting, even just some cultural context there. If your scriptures say bridesmaid, if it says virgin, there could be some changes there. But here's the one we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna butcher these other languages here, and we're getting into Greek. So forgive me. Now, like I said, this is the part where it says they slumbered and slept. Nikki, what verse is that? Where it says they slumbered and slept.
It's verse 5.
Verse 5. So,
So-
Matthew 25:5. This is where we're looking.
Do you want
Now-
me to read it really quick?
Sure, go ahead, read it.
Okay. So it says, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
So that's what we're talking about. Now, the Greek word that becomes slumber in our English is nustazo, Nustazo. Maybe it's nustazo. We'll go with that, nustazo. And that means to nod in sleep, to be negligent or careless. But the work of that, or excuse me, the root of that Greek word is neuo, 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 which it means to give a nod, to signify, or to beckon. Now, this is interesting because a lot of times in scriptures we have these dualities where two things that are similar are presented, and the Greek words are very similar in meaning.
Yeah.
Now, both the wise and foolish virgins are pictured as having fallen asleep here as they waited for the bridegroom, because the bridegroom is late and it's a late hour. But there's a difference that I never caught, and is pointed out here by Harold Smith. There's two types of people here. You have wise virgins and foolish virgins, and there's a difference in the reactions and the behavior of these two, but it's not given in the translation. So what he presents as a paraphrase correction of this verse would be, while the bridegroom tarried in his coming, all of the 10 virgins either beckoned for him to return or they fell asleep. Now, he also gives a word-for-word translation because that expands on it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So word for word, this is what he presents. While the bridegroom tarried, they all beckoned or slept. Now that's interesting because if they were beckoning him, they were very vigilant.
Mm-hmm.
If they slept, they were not. They were perhaps careless
unwise,
or foolish. Now, I think that's a fantastic thing to point out. I've read that many times. I've not heard of that before.
Mm-mm.
I've never even considered it.
It makes a
But
lot
there's
more sense.
two types. They're slumbering and they slept, which doesn't make any sense.
No.
But the Greek word, and one day I'll have to dive into Greek. I've been more interested in Hebrew lately. But yeah, if it's to nod, then I could see how if in Greek it's saying they nodded and slept, it's like, oh, they were just sleeping, they slumbered.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think Harold Smith is really onto something. I think there is much more depth of meaning in that short verse 5. And I think he's right. While the bridegroom tarried, they all beckoned or slept. Which he gives a couple examples of that word being used as beckoned in John 13:24 and Acts 24:10. The one in John 13, that's when Peter asks Jesus at the Last Supper, who is going to betray him? And he beckons Jesus so he can ask him the question. He beckons him. and that word is used there in the Greek. So there's some precedence for that
So
being
there
used
is
as
some
beckoning rather than
correct.
slumbering and
Yeah.
sleeping. Which is very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. It says Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, it's almost like it was translated correctly in those two other areas, and then
Now, what is
the
that?
context,
Yeah.
maybe they changed it because they're like, oh, they're sleeping. Maybe they're just gonna say slumber because of the context of it.
Oh, very, very much so. Now, but that it kind of changes the underlying meaning. We
Yeah,
we really
totally does.
focus on the oil in this
Mm-hmm.
story. The oil's the important thing. They didn't have enough oil. They had to go buy oil. They were late. But if the preparation and what makes them wise isn't so much the oil as it is the way that they were waiting,
Yeah,
the
but
way
if they're
that they
not
were
prepared, yeah.
well, there's some greater depth here.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're looking at the way that they were waiting, being prepared and vigilant versus unprepared and sleeping, I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Now there's just a little bit more here. If what does the oil mean? If it's the oil's a little less of the focus of the story, what was the oil? And I think there's a great point that Harold Smith makes here. Um, they had to go purchase oil, and he poses a question here: who at a late hour is selling oil? Who are they buying it from?
Yeah.
So
That's a really good point.
yeah, I think it's a great point. Now there's some context that he gives here. We've got Psalm 119, Psalm 141. He says the oil that keeps our lamp burning is the law of righteousness, which is interesting. Ponder that one.
Yeah.
Um, and he gives those psalms as some context for that. So if we are if the oil is our maybe our understanding of righteousness, our understanding of the scriptures, and it's our understanding of the law as it's given to us, and then we have to apply that, and that oil feeds our lamp, feeds our light. If we have to go buy that, so to whom did the 5 foolish virgins go to purchase more oil? Well, he gives us this one, 2 Peter 2, 1 through 3. Beware of false prophets and false
Mm,
teachers who, through covetousness, shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you.
that's
Um,
really interesting.
yeah, I think that's a
They're
great point.
selling
There
the gospel.
there will be people out there willing to sell you snake oil.
Yeah.
Really snake oil, which is
No,
fascinating
literal. Yeah.
in our analogies of the
Well,
scripture.
that's interesting. Snake oil,
Yes,
Lucifer,
you get
and
some serpent
oil.
oil here. Um,
Hmm.
they will
That's
sell that to you when your
that's
back is against the wall, you're out of time, you're unprepared, and you need some what was it? What's the
righteousness.
oil? It is the law of righteousness.
Yeah.
It's our understanding of righteousness.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so they're going to be more than willing to sell it to you, and you're late anyway. Unprepared, you're late anyway, and it's not going to work. It's also interesting. Um, the Depending on the quality of the oil you have, that might be watered down oil. That I
Yeah,
believe.
what you're buying may not. Well,
Yep.
it's not going to be good.
Well, and it yeah, I mean that if you ever water down oil or cut oil with lower quality, um, those flames do not hold up
It's
to
not
the
going to last.
wind. It doesn't.
Yeah.
The first gust comes by, and that is not a strong flame, and it blows out. So it's very interesting. There's some greater depth to that parable. I
Mhm.
never considered it because I always I always read right over it. But this guy makes some good points here.
Well, and I think it's really timely that we're reading this right now because the messages that we've been getting from the church about being prepared and um like there's I there's still time, but you need to prepare yourself now. It's not don't wait. And this is the prompting we had last year was don't wait.
Run,
Like
don't walk. Run. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, and it's a big deal. So that's what we wanted to share with you. Read that in Matthew. Let us know what you think. We're not claiming to be right on this. Like we figured it out. We can't. I can't read Greek. I haven't looked into it really deeply, but I think there's some. I think there is some points to be made here. I think there's some meaning here that can be added to that understanding of the
yeah.
parable. So
Yeah.
and dive into it. Prepare, read,
Prepare.
and don't let the words of the Lord be, "I did not know you."
Well, and don't let this time pass you by. Um, take it seriously.
There you go. Have a
So,
great day. We'll see
yeah.
you next time.
Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you guys. Leave us a comment.
They know what to do.
Well,
They're on the YouTube.
oh my gosh.
They know what to do.
I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, do the YouTube stuff.
You know what to do.